Kufleitner from Kufleitner, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Columbiana and Boardman. It's just a little after 5. I hope you had a great day and have a wonderful evening. Sun goes up, price goes down. Make this the summer. Sales event is happening now, and we're making deals other dealers wish they can make. 411 new Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram trucks on the ground with over 300 more on the way. 202 new Rams in stock, including a huge selection of gas and diesel heavy-duty commercial models, dump trucks, service bodies, plus 38 new Ram ProMaster vans of every configuration, including 10, 12, and 15 passenger vans, 116 new Jeeps, including 39 legendary Jeep Wranglers and 41 Grand Cherokees with super aggressive rebates and fantastic lease programs. Don't miss out on Dodge Power Days. We have 92 Challengers, Chargers, Dodge Durangos, and the all-new Dodge Hornets ready for immediate delivery. Kufleitner, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Route 14 in Columbiana and on Market Street in Boardman. And please remember, tell a friend.
From the A to Z Dependable Services Traffic Center. Septic, plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain cleaning. 570 Traffic.
Traffic is slow on the Turnpike westbound between 680 and Route 7. There's resurfacing work on 422 between 142 and 305. There's construction work on Youngstown-Pittsburgh Road between East Middletown Road and Struthers Road. And Kirk Road is closed due to road construction between South Turner Road and South Canfield-Niles Road. I'm John Crawford in the Total Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Weather brought to you by Massa Heating and Cooling and Bryant, keeping you comfortable year-round.
For this evening, partly cloudy skies. It will remain hot and humid with temperatures this evening in the upper 80s and low 90s. For tonight, warm and muggy with temperatures sliding to near 70 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Partly sunny for your Friday. Small chance of a shower or storm with highs in the low 90s. For the Storm 2.7 Weather Center,
These are the two young guns in my office.
This report is sponsored by CKC Gutter Specialist Company.
Hey there, this is Kate from CKC Gutters, your local gutter specialist company. Here at CKC, gutter systems and gutter solutions are all we do. Give us a call for a free consultation at 330-759-5200 and check us out at ckcgutters.com.
Okay.
Now, Ron Verb on News Radio 570.
WKBN. Here we go. We're going live.
News Radio 570 WKBN. We are underway here on a Thursday. We're sitting with 93 degrees. It's a hot, humid day out there, to say the least. It's 5:08 in the afternoon. And we'll be with you till 6 o'clock with the legal show, courtesy of Beatrice Cop, longest running legal show around here on radio. And we take any calls you have on any legal issues you might have for the next hour. I always tell people the same thing, and it happens week after week. We end the program and we can't get all the calls in. So if you have a legal question, the time to call us at the beginning of the broadcast. Get on rotation. We'll get you on the air and try our best to answer your legal question, point you in the right direction, answer your question, do what we can do. We don't send you a bill. So if you have a legal question on anything, child support, divorce, DUI, custody, estates, evictions.
They can't see you.
Trust, will, auto accidents, speeding tickets, dog bites, medical malpractice, contractual issues, you name it, we'll address it. And I have two lines open in Youngstown, 330-729-9977. 330-729-9977 is our top secret number for free legal advice. 330-729-9977 will get you through to us on News Radio 570 WKBN. So pick up the phone, give us a call, and we'll answer your question. Let's go to the law firm of Beatrice Cop, where they are gathered around the big round table tonight.
Not around.
Ready? Yeah,
can you hear me, Ron?
I can, David. Hello.
Okay, not a round table, a square table. Okay. I'm TikToking this live. I made Jimmy Melfi move. So for people on TikTok, these are the young guns at the office. I'm the old man. And they let me draw with purple crayons today. This Jimmy Melfi. What?
David,
what?
If they really want to see the guns, you'd have to wear a short sleeve shirt and start stretching.
I understand that. Frank Cassis, did you see Frank had a big acquittal this week, Ron?
I did see that. Anything you want to say about that?
I mean, he's a young gun. If you want to win, you got to hire Frank Cassis. Now he's going to be humble, but I'm not going to be humble for him. He worked his you know what off on that case. He did it all alone. and it was his first acquittal, right? Alone, solo.
For an ag murder, yes.
Yeah, you have to put your phone.
Yes.
For an ag murder.
Yeah, aggravated
your first
murder,
one
murder.
alone. And so welcome to we kind of broke you in now.
Yeah.
And now you know what it takes to win. And he did a great job. And there were a lot of funny things that happened during the trial. I happened to walk in and I posted it on TikTok. And I got a lot of DMs on TikTok and on Instagram. Like, I posted me and Frank, we had 11,000 views. And do you know what the people were posting about?
What, David?
How good looking he is, how young looking he is, how wonderful, how humble he is. Is a Brian Jr.
Right. What were they posting about you?
Old, dementia, pear-shaped body.
Yeah. Basically, were they posting, man, has Dave gotten older?
Yeah, that's okay. Frank and I have a lot of trials coming up. I think we have a trial that'll come up that might even make Dateline run. How about that? Yeah.
That ought to be exciting.
Yeah, it should be.
I'm looking forward
Since
to that.
Frank's now an expert in Dateline because the detective in Frank's case, I have to say it, Frank. I'm sorry. It was a beautiful piece of cross-examination. Frank was cross-examining the primary detective in an aggravated murder case. And Frank was, probing, like, what kind of training do you have? And she said, I have on-the-job training. And Frank said, anything else, which I almost blew my top over.
That's
because
not what I said.
Well,
No, I didn't know. I did not ask an open-end question.
Yes, you did. You said, what kind of training
no,
do you
didn't.
have?
She said, I said, you would agree you don't have any training in this specific field. And she said, no, that's not true. And I said, okay, tell me what the training is.
So that's an open-end question.
It's not, because I know I knew the answer to.
You didn't know she was going to say, I watched Dateline.
Not that.
Oh, no.
I didn't.
She said, I have on-the-job training. And then she looked at the jury and said, I watched Dateline. And I almost...
She was frustrated at that point.
You really think?
Yeah.
My jaw almost broke from it hitting the ground when I said, she didn't just tell the jury that she gets her training from Dateline. And I insisted that Frank get those transcripts because I have her on a couple cases coming up where I will cross-examine her and say, now part of your training involves watching Dateline NBC, right?
Well, there you go. I mean, I mean,
no,
hey,
Frank did it.
Frank.
Listen to me.
Right.
Not only Frank didn't pull, listen to me. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Frank didn't pull any chicanery. He tried a great case. And you know what? The system works. Let me tell you how unusual it is.
Can I ask Frank a question now?
No, not until I make a statement.
But I need, it's important because I watch a lot of Sex in the City, and does that give me training in that arena?
No, it doesn't.
Okay, just check it.
So let me tell you, less than probably 5% of cases that go to verdict wind up in an acquittal, especially on an aggravated murder case. I've happened to won more murder cases than I lost. Not that I'm bragging, okay? But
well, it sounds like it.
I am bragging a little bit. But Frank and I have some big trials coming up. Believe me when I tell you, you're going to see us on some big trials. So we're going to have to take out our big bats. And we're going to have to really, prepare and make sure we do it. And Jimmy Melfi, of course, is working on that big NFL case. Frank and I, we just handle criminals. Jimmy Melfi handles NFL owners. So we bow to him.
Well, this is all outstanding. I say this all the time to people, and I'm serious about this, whether you like or dislike Dave, because, you either like him or you hate him. There's no in between when it comes to Attorney Beatrice. but here's the reality. Whether you like or dislike Dave Beatrice, I'll tell you this much. He's a damn good lawyer if you need a lawyer.
And we all work hard for you. One thing about this firm, we will fight to make sure you get your fair day in court. And that's the difference. Right. I don't care what party you're from, because I've represented Republicans, Democrats on all kinds of stuff.
Right.
I've taken unpopular cases. And what I do for clients is I don't care. I want to make sure they get their fair day in court. And that's what we fight to do.
Right, and I'm sure that there's a little bit of jealousy because Frank is so universally liked and loved, and people just seem to like the guy
because he has a third. What is your 30
no, it has
inch
nothing
waist?
to do with that. They just
is it
like
a 30
Frank,
inch waist? No. I have to.
I'm not.
No, Ron.
Yeah, but if you go back to when your waist was skinny, you still had half the people who liked you and half the people who didn't.
But
like
everyone
you.
likes
So it had nothing
Frank.
to do with your
Everyone
weight
likes
size.
Frank.
I know.
Not everyone likes me.
Why is that, though? Do you think? I mean,
I might be a little more bombastic than Frank, just a little bit.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now, hey, Frank.
Yes, sir.
Frank, you got to help me out. I'm doing an intervention here for you guys.
You're not doing an intervention. You think you're going to change me? You're not going to change me. Hey, Ron, I got some exciting news. You want to know something? Guess what else? Guess who else
your
picked up?
Your dinghy's working.
My
is that the
you got? Oh, I have to tell you a story. Listen to this. You will love this. I'm in my dinghy. I'm on Kelly's Island. I take my dinghy, and for people that know, Seaway Marina is about a half a mile from downtown Kelly's Island. So I take my dinghy over. I'm looking at the boats, and I'm turning, and some guy goes, "Hey, Beatrice." And I go, "Yeah, I listened to you on Verb. I see you got a new dinghy." And I went, "Oh my God."
But I mean, I think we're all happy because your dinghy wasn't working for a considerable length of time. And now at your age, we're happy to announce Dave's dinghy is functioning again.
No, we're not talking.
We all couldn't be happier. Yeah, we're happy that your dinghy works, Dave. We really are that he had to replace his dinghy, so he has a new dinghy. And we're glad you do. I mean, we're all happy for you.
For the
Can you
love
let us
of
celebrate
God.
it?
For the love of God.
I mean, it's a.
And you know what?
And you're spending time on your boat.
You know what's even more beautiful?
What's that?
So I'm over at Put in Bay, and I'm at Kelly's Island a lot, and people might get to know me there. And I actually had a client hire me from Ottawa County, and he has to be in Ottawa County Municipal Court at 11:30 tomorrow, which means that pretrial will last, what, 20 minutes to a half hour, Frank?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm driving back to the office?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We'll see you Monday.
You will see me Monday. That's exactly right. But Ron, I want to tell you something exciting. You know, we have one of the longest serving legal broadcasts in podcast history. And guess who else just picked us up?
Who?
Apple. Right, Leo, producer, Apple Podcast. You can go to Legally Speaking. They have all of our shows now. So we're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. I'm TikToking it live, even though we have to interface with Chinese people to figure out how to get it through the live stream because Leo can't figure it out. My producer, who I pay all this money to, cannot figure it out. And so you can watch us on YouTube Live, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. It goes to Spotify, and now it goes to Apple Broadcast. You guys are semi-famous. I just want you to know.
Well, I think, I don't know. Maybe we should just go home. Do we even need it on the radio anymore? I don't know. I mean, it's been on radio for over 30 years. Folks.
34 years.
34 years with free legal advice. And I think that might be ground zero for all of this because that's what people want. You want to take some calls?
Absolutely. Let's take them.
All right. So he's in a good mood because his dinghy's back working and Frank won a case. And
Frank won not just a case. Listen to me.
No, he won a big. He won
a
big
no,
case.
no,
And
no.
Jimmy, And Jimmy Melfi's going to join the NFL. So we're all happy about it.
Jimmy Melfi is covering a case for me tomorrow in Gerard Court, and he better be ferocious, is all I'm saying, or I will beat you.
I think I'll be okay.
There you go.
I think you'll be okay. All right. Go ahead.
All right.
Let's take some calls. We're live. We're local. We're locked and loaded. Let's go, Ron.
We're all of those things Dave just said. You're on the air with our attorneys. Go ahead, caller. Hello.
Hi. I have a question about credit card debt and surviving spouse.
Yes, sir.
My brother-in-law recently passed away, and he had several credit cards with fairly good sized balances on them. He also had 2 or 3 internet loans that he took out personally. And I'm wondering if his widow is responsible for any of those debts.
Was the card in his name alone? Is in his name alone or both of them?
As far as we know, they were in his name only.
I don't think she's responsible then, right, Jimmy?
Right. The estate would be responsible, and you could, enter. You could
The
open
estate's
estate.
responsible.
Yeah.
So any money going into the estate, they'd have a claim. Go ahead.
Well, that might be a problem for her because there's also a large mortgage on the house, and she's going to have to sell it. She has no ability to pay it off. And then whatever the net proceeds are from selling the house.
If she's on the house,
estate, correct?
Well, no, not necessarily.
Probably, yeah.
If she's on the house,
Is her name on the deed? Caller?
I would have to find out. I don't know.
If her name's on the deed, I think she can claim half of the assets of that sale. Right, Jimmy?
Right. And then the credit card companies have 6 months from the date of death
to make a claim.
Have
they made a claim against the estate?
No, because this just happened in the past few weeks.
So you want to open up an estate?
No.
You want to put them on notice?
Well, the other
hang on a
issue
second.
is he died without a will.
Did he
So
have?
It's going to be a mess.
Well, yes, and maybe no. Did he have children? Did they have children?
3 adult children.
Well,
they're out of the house on their own.
Yeah, I understand that, but they're still entitled. She can claim against. She can claim 1/3, and they split 2/3, and it depends on how things are titled. But I don't think she's going to be completely out of luck. This is my opinion.
Okay.
But obviously, you need a good lawyer to get things rolling.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, in the meantime, as these payments come due, should she just ignore them for the time
Unless
being?
they're in her name,
Or
I wouldn't pay
notify
them.
the creditor that he is passed.
I notify the creditor he is dead. If you start paying him, you can assume those loans. So I would not do that.
So listen to what Dave said. Notify him that he's dead. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Keep listening.
And in that case, one of the big things that you want him to know is he does need a lawyer, right, David, to open an estate.
Yeah,
to
this
work
is
on these
complicated because they're going to make a claim against the estate. There sounds like there's some equity in the house. They're both on the house. There are some exclusions the wife can claim outside of the creditors. I know enough about probate law to be dangerous. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But Frank knows a whole lot. Frank knows a whole lot about getting an acquittal on an aggravated murder case. I could tell you that. Because
it sounds like the guy had a lot of debt, though, doesn't it? Like he probably bought some large boat that he had, and had a lot of engine work and probably gas.
Really?
Probably owned a boat. Yeah, boats are very expensive.
You have
very
no
expensive.
idea the money. I just, when I go to my boat, before I get on it, I go over to the grill at my marina. I throw about $2,000 in it. I pour lighter fluid on it, and I light it on fire.
Right. Because you might as well, because that's what owning a boat is. But it gives you peace and tranquility.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've been inviting Frank up because he has 2 twin boys, Enzo and Sonny. They're lovely boys. And he keeps saying he's going to come up.
We'll come up. It's been busy.
I know you're
baseball,
busy.
Our last baseball games tonight.
His children are athletic too, which I'm sorry for you, Frank. But when they get on the traveling team, your summers are going to be ruined. I'm just telling you.
No, I know.
Thank God for me, none of my children are that athletic, but your children are athletic. And you will be going till August or September.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy not having to do that for now. Their last game's tonight, so.
July, you're coming.
Yeah.
But you know what, Frank? I was just thinking for Enzo and Sonny, and they're athletic. Thank God that they didn't get involved in like in high school in the theater than starring in like Hello Dolly, as somebody that we know was doing.
I wasn't allowed to
for
play
his time.
football in high school because my mother thought I'd injure myself. So, but she let me
Right.
star
So
in the
She
play.
was right. Your mother was right. I
What
watched
was the
you
play
roll the
that you were
bowling
in,
ball.
Dave?
Hello, Dolly. I was Stanley the waiter in Hello, Dolly.
I've heard.
I can sing a
Okay.
couple of verses of Hello, Dolly. I won't do it tonight, but I have done it
I
on
heard-
this radio
I've
show.
been here when you've done it.
All right, Ron, do we have any more calls?
Oh, we got plenty of calls.
Well, let's take them.
Maybe could we just tease the audience and say maybe just before we end, we
No,
could do a
no,
first
we're
hello,
not doing
Dolly?
any of that. We're taking calls. Go ahead.
All right, there you go. You're on the air with Attorney Beatrice. Hello.
Hi, I've got a traffic camera question.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
I was on my way to Mole Run Golf Course, Dan Rivers' favorite golf course, and I passed through one of those cameras, and I got a ticket in the mail just the other day. It said I was going 75 in a 65 mile an hour zone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, I wasn't going 75, and second of all, it's only 35 on that zone. So I'm just thinking about circling those two
for the
things and
people
sending it back.
for the people on TikTok, the caller just asked me, in Ohio, we have traffic cameras that give your car the ticket. And so what I've been telling people is that does not go on your credit rating. And I have gotten one of those. They have not sued me, and it's not gone on my credit report. And so all I could do is relate to you the experience I had. Frank, have you had any similar experiences?
Same experience. The only issue I have is my car's leased. So if I get one and I don't pay, then it goes to my lease. And then, so if my lease is X a month, it'll go up by $150.
Yeah.
So I really can't get
You
away
need
from
to
Excellent
dispute
point.
it with your leasing company.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Caller,
you can
do you have a
dispute it.
leased car?
No, this is my car, but what I'm saying
So
is
you're
that
in good shape then.
the speed says a 75 in a 65 zone. Well, I wasn't going 75 and the zone's only 35.
Right,
So they
but-
got that totally wrong.
All right, but the
So
point is
you
this:
could-
you don't. It doesn't matter, right? So you're not going to get any points on your license, and what we're saying to you is, if you do nothing, you should be fine. So you're no worse off than you were before. I get what you're saying, and I understand it, but I don't think that there's any point in fighting it.
Arguing it.
That's
All right.
correct.
So basically,
Yeah, well,
they're telling you
equipment's
that,
wrong, their
okay,
equipment's faulty right now.
they got a picture of you, right?
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
it was me. I mean, I went
All
through
right,
there. I
and
know
it-
No,
that.
It's your
they don't
car.
have a
Well,
picture of
maybe-
you.
Picture of the
They have a picture
They have
of
a
your
cover car.
license
Well, the
plate.
car, right, with the light.
All right.
Right.
But maybe you were doing that before it dropped down to 35. It's hard to say.
I wasn't going.
All right.
I wasn't going 75,
All right.
and the speed limit is only 35 there.
Well,
And
the
so
final
just ignore it.
the final decision is yours. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And or you can do whatever
You can
feel
ask
is
for a
best
hearing,
you.
but so far, my experiment has worked. I got a ticket in that lovely city of Girard. You're familiar with that city, right, Jimmy Melfi?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Well, there you go.
I didn't pay it. Hasn't.
All right,
I've been sued. None of my credit rating.
Back with Attorney Beatrice and the crew. Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Cop. We'll be back.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Coming back to Las Vegas, September 20th and
I don't care
He's
about
very
TikTok.
humble.
You gotta
I
pay
don't care.
attention.
You don't care about TikTok, but I care
You got to
about
pay
TikTok.
attention to the radio show.
Go
okay?
ahead. What do you
We got
want to
a guy
know?
that has a question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, caller. Explain.
Okay, I'm in my 80s, and my wife's 79 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is, Ron, I've talked to you before. I'm the fellow that had the melanoma and was stage 3 and went through all the test stuff. Okay. I recently had scans done again, and they had found something they didn't like. My wife, 2 years ago, had breast cancer,
Okay.
and they removed her left breast.
All right.
Okay. Now, what's happening is we had to remortgage to pay
your bills.
Our bills, yes.
All right. When you say
And,
remortgage, do you mean a reverse mortgage or a remortgage?
No. Just a remortgage is all it was.
Okay, a remortgage. Okay.
I just recently got this new scan back, and they found something that they were a little questionable about.
What is your question for our attorneys, though, sir?
Okay, now about these reverse mortgages, are they a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't like them personally. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're in financial trouble. But according to Ron, you should just pull yourself up by the bootstraps and, just face your problems and not have the ability to file bankruptcy or a reorganization plan. I suggest you contact a bankruptcy lawyer because this is a very common problem. Do you have a hospitalization plan or are you on Medicare?
No, I am on Medicare.
And do you have a supplemental? You have a supplemental plan for your Medicare?
Yes. No, I'm on her medical, her
hospitalization plan.
Her doctor's, her insurance.
So why aren't they paying the bills?
Well, they're paying some of them, but the
what do you mean they're paying some of them?
So high.
Oh, you're talking about the deductible. You're having a hard time.
How much is the deductible? How much is the deductible?
Yeah.
How much is the deductible?
About $3,000.
$3,000.
And every time I go for scans, they're $1,800. They're $8,000 a scan.
All right, but
I
need you to answer the questions he's asking. Okay,
Ron,
Paul,
once you hit the $3,000 threshold, they should be paying all those medical bills. $3,000 per year, then they should be paying 100% of those medical bills.
Okay, I understand that. Yes, they're paying them, but the problem is she's gone back to work after having breast cancer and treatments. And we do still have insurance, but we're still treading water. But things has gone up so much, our taxes, everything, and I need to put a roof on. Roof's 40 years old, and I'm just thinking if I did go to a reverse mortgage,
I don't like reverse mortgages.
Maybe almost $1,000.
I understand that. The problem with the reverse mortgage is that you lose all the equity in your house. And once they pay the reverse mortgage, they own your home. I don't necessarily like them because we have gotten rid of usury laws in the United States, and you don't know what kind of interest they're charging you. I would suggest strongly that you get a hold of a bankruptcy lawyer because there's a way you could file a Chapter 11 or Chapter 13, which is a reorganization plan, which allows you to, spread out your debt or pay part of your creditors. But I know the pressure you're under financially.
Caller, do me a favor. Caller, I want you to listen to what Attorney Beatrice is trying to tell you. You keep
Yes, I'm
interrupting
listening.
him. Listen, you're on Medicare. You got a supplemental plan. They're paying it. You got to pay the deductible. You got these other bills. He's trying to tell you you're calling him what to do, and you keep interrupting him with will and but. He's telling you do this, okay?
So
listen.
So if you were listening to the show last week, Ron was arguing with a woman by the name of Adriana Hines. I suggest
firecracker.
She's not a firecracker. I suggest you look her up, and she can help negotiate you through these waters. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, my friend. Do what Dave has advised you. I mean, he's trying to help you, and you want to keep telling him this and that and the other thing. All right.
Hey, Ron.
Yes.
It's Frank. I gotta duck out. My kid left his baseball bag in my car, and they started.
So this is our problem?
I can't. I have to get him to the field. It's his last game.
Wait a minute. Let me see if I understand this.
I'm telling Santino that you told me to so he should be sitting there. He couldn't play. He wouldn't have a batter.
No, you know what?
Maybe you should plan, you and Jessica, to make sure that you get your stuff out of your car into her car.
All right.
Okay, so you're leaving. Put the mic down. Goodbye, Frank. Thanks so much for helping us out.
Frank, you're a great father, and say hi to Enzo and Sonny on my behalf, and I hope they win. He's a great father. Dave can't
He's only
understand.
leaving because his wife texted him. He's like us, Ron. Remember us when we were younger?
Thanks,
and
Dave.
our wives would text us. It would put the fear of God in us.
There was no texting back then.
Yeah, there was. It just wasn't
There
like
wasn't.
texting now. It was
We
one of
call it
those
the house phone.
Yeah. And Ron and I are about the same age, and we basically are enslaved to our wives. I'm just telling you. Am I right, Ron?
Guilty as charged, Your Honor. You're on the air with the attorneys tonight. Hello there.
Hello. Good afternoon.
What's your question for our attorneys?
Work-related issue.
Go ahead.
Loss of job and time. They owed me approximately 140 hours, and they decided to fire me. In regards to, for instance, I was a maintenance technician at a local community, and a resident kept pursuing me with a type sexually encounter.
All right, hold on a second. 100. You're saying they owe you 140 hours, correct?
Yes, of vacation time.
All right. How much were you making an hour?
$20 an hour.
So 20 times 100 is what? $2,000, Jimmy? So
Yes, sir.
2,000, say 2,500, you could take them to small claims court. And that's what I suggest you do.
Caller, did I hear you correctly, though, before I let you go? You were being harassed sexually by one of the tenants?
Ron, I knew you would pick up on that. It doesn't matter. If they owe him $140 an hour, if they owe him 140 hours, whether
But
he
I
was...
want to know
Oh,
if
go ahead,
he's a
Ron.
victim of sexual harassment.
Oh, for the
what was happening,
Jimmy.
sir? You were just a maintenance guy, and one of these elderly women were, or was this an older woman?
Yeah, well, actually, she's a little younger than I am.
How old a woman?
She had a disability. She's between 40 and 50. Let's say that.
And she was pursuing you sexually.
Yeah, and you know, when you work somewhere for a certain
Ron,
amount of
why
time,
are
you get
you-
to know everybody in the community. And
For the people on
each
TikTok,
individual friend.
Well, this is a serious issue.
it's not
This
a
is
serious issue.
gentleman.
For the people on TikTok, this caller is asking, he got fired from a job. They owed him 140 hours, and somehow he thinks he's entitled to more because one of the residents sexually harassed him. I don't think that the employer owes you money for a third party sexually harassing you. I think you could sue your employer for the 140 hours. Okay? And you could do that in small claims court. All right?
Before I let you go, caller, could you answer one quick question for me?
Don't answer
what
it,
type
caller.
Of, what type of cologne do you wear? Never mind.
High karate.
All right, you're on the
Ron,
air.
do you
Hello.
remember high karate?
I'm still wearing it, Dave. What do you mean, do I remember it? I still have a few bottles left.
Go
You're
ahead.
on the air with our attorneys tonight. Hello. Line 5. Are you
Hello,
there?
caller. Are you there?
Hello.
Yes. What's your question for our attorneys?
Hi. Two quick questions. One, is a handwritten will in Ohio legal?
Not unless it is witnessed by two people who are not beneficiaries.
I could have the bank notarize it.
No, that's not what I said. You have to have two people who are not beneficiaries witness that that is your will. It's called a holographic will, right, Jimmy?
Correct.
I just took a bar exam in Florida now 3 years ago. And so it's called a holographic will. In Ohio, they're recognized the handwritten will as long as you have two independent people witness that you made that will.
Okay.
Sir, could I give you a quick piece of advice? It's not that expensive. Why don't you just go to a lawyer and do it the right way?
Well, I'm pretty broke right now.
So if you're broke, what would people
you
be
have?
fighting over for?
Well, I have assets. I have a home. I have things, automobiles, things like that. That leads me into my second question.
And to get a simple will done is not that expensive.
$300 probably.
$300 probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm living month to month. So the other question is with Medicaid. I have a 401. I'm on Medicaid now, and I have a 401k that I can cash in here at some point. First of all, I've gotten different answers from Medicaid about whether that.
Are you on
money is
Medicaid
counted.
or Medicare?
Medicaid.
How old are you?
56.
Okay.
Because if he cashes in a 401k, there's going to be some penalties there, I would think.
There,
at 56.
and not only that, he might get off of Medicaid.
Yeah.
Well, that's my question. I think at 59 and a half, I can take the 401k. I'm not in the greatest health, but at 59 and a half, I can take the Medicaid out without, the 401k out without penalty.
That's correct.
When I do that, am I going to lose my Medicaid?
I do
Or
not
is there
believe so.
anything I
I
can
do not
do?
believe so.
If the 401k is in payout status, you're probably not going to lose the Medicaid.
Okay.
But if I took it out beforehand, it would be?
It'd be counted
Probably.
as an asset.
Yeah.
And if it takes you over the threshold, you'd be kicked off Medicaid.
Plus, you'd have some
Gotcha.
severe penalties from the government,
Right.
as far as that is concerned. Bad
Yeah,
idea.
right.
All right. Thanks for your call. You're on with our attorneys tonight. Hello.
Is this me, Ron?
Yes, it is. What's your question for Dave and Jim tonight?
Hi, guys. I love this show. I love iHeartRadio. And we appreciate you taking the time to do this for us.
Well, thank you very
My
much.
question is, and Dave, if I ever kill somebody, you're my guy.
Me
that's
or
interesting,
Frank?
caller.
Frank,
Sure not Frank?
Frank has the most recent win. I had. Oh, by the way, Ron, my last murder case that I lost, and I haven't lost many, got reversed on appeal on an issue I preserved. But far be it from me to preserve an issue for appeal. But go ahead.
Well, let me just say thank you to the caller. What's your question that you have for Dave?
Okay, I got it's a simple question. I've got one of those letters about the train settlement within the miles.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they're it's about the train derailment. I live within the 20 miles of East Palestine.
Yeah, Dave's familiar with it.
Have you guys seen those?
Yes, and there is a public meeting June 25th, East Palestine High School. I suggest you go. All your questions will be answered. Brian Kopp and I will be there as long as a bevy of a lot of lawyers.
June 25th, search Dave out at that get-together. What time is that, Dave?
I believe it starts at 6:00.
But listen to what I'm telling you, caller. Do not throw it out and talk to Dave about this, okay?
I didn't. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for listening.
All right. And next call for our attorneys tonight, James Melfi and attorney David Beatrice. The legal show brought to you by Beatrice Cobb.
Let's
You're on
ask
the air,
Frank,
caller.
wait
Go
a minute,
ahead.
Can we ask Frank and Brian what they think? Frank, you want to take this next? Brian, would you like Mark?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Dave. I got to leave the show. I gotta go.
They're not here.
Got to take
Brian's
my stuff to
not
my
here.
son.
He's absent as usual. Frank had his batting practice somehow wound up in his car. We don't know where Mark is. He's probably singing in a rock band somewhere. But me and Jimmy, we're holding down the fort. Go ahead. What's the next caller have to say?
All right. What's your question for our attorneys tonight, caller? 549.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Oh, I have a question about real estate. Who's entitled transfer fees on a real estate in northeastern Ohio?
It's dependent on the contract.
Okay, because the real estate agent told me that it was my responsibility as a seller to pay them all.
It is a matter of contract. Normally the seller is, but that doesn't mean it has to be.
Read your purchase agreement.
Read your purchase agreement. Exactly.
Okay.
All right.
I got another question. You've seen these vehicles parked, delivery vehicles in double yellow zones. If you were to go around one of these vehicles and get in an accident, are they partially responsible?
Potentially.
Yeah. Okay, because they park in dumb places. Okay, that's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you, and keep listening. All right, Ron, we have any more calls?
Yeah, sit tight there. 550, you're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, David.
Yes.
Yeah. Has your firm ever been involved with someone setting up a scholarship? I assume a person would call the university a scholarship department. And is there any legal responsibility? Let's say I want to set up a sizable scholarship with some criteria. Have you ever been involved with that? How does that all work?
So if you want to put restrictions on the scholarship, usually the university works directly with you. You can have a lawyer with you to make sure that your wishes are being followed. We have done that, specifically Brian Kopp, who does all of our sports and entertainment, and Jimmy Melfi, who does all of our sports and entertainment. They don't let me into the sports world because when I was a child, my mother didn't let me play football. She was afraid I was going to hurt myself. So I was able to play in the school play, but I was not allowed to play any school sports. So those questions are best answered by Jimmy Melfi and Brian Kopp. But my understanding is, Jimmy, right, he could put restrictions on
He can
that.
put restrictions. I would, assuming it's YSU or another local university, call directly
I
down
can't
there.
state liability-wise. Can they come back on you? Let's say the recipient can figure out some way to sue the person that set up the scholarship. I just wouldn't want to burden my wife with
I don't think
litigation.
so. Look, if you say here are the criteria for you to get this scholarship, I think you'd be okay.
Yeah, like if you had someone with the 3.5 GPA, the next semester they have a 3.4, they don't get the scholarship anymore. Is that your
Right.
question? They can come back at your wife.
Well, yeah, basically, I'm just starting this. I've only been in a position to do this because of this economy in the last few years, so I want to give back. So I'm trying to set up some stuff.
Well, thank you for giving back to students, because the college debt right now for students is out of control. It's just out of control.
What type of restrictions do you want to put on, caller? Any come to mind?
Not really. Actually, not really restrictions and nothing. I'd really rather give it to somebody that doesn't have a high grade point and really doesn't exceed. It's more in the subject matter at the university level. At Kent State, they have a fashion school, and it happens to be something, a field that I was interested in that nobody's probably giving scholarships for. And actually, if they have a 2.0 or can get in, I had real bad grades, and I'm looking at a different angle.
All right. Well, that's not a bad angle.
You can work that out with the university.
And if you want, I'm sure you could, Jimmy. I mean, you could assist him with that.
Jimmy does this. He does all of our sports law. He and Brian Kopp, they don't let me touch any footballs, basketball, baseballs.
Obviously,
golf,
you're a thespian,
tennis,
Dave.
I'm a
But
thespian,
here's the
you're right.
reality. Call, if you need a attorney, call Beatrice Kopp and ask for James Melfi down there. Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Do we have any more calls?
Once again, Dave spent a lot of his time in high school as a thespian.
Yes, I was in the school play.
Yeah. Did you have a starring role in Hello, Dolly? I mean,
I
were
was
you
Stanley. I
a
had
major
2
role?
lines. I
Oh, 2 lines.
couldn't be the main waiter because I didn't have the athletic ability to jump over someone's shoulders. That's another story, Ron. It's a scar in my life because when I was 8 years old, I had to buy clothes in the Husky department at Sears. And once you go to the Husky department at Sears, it kind of scars you for life.
Did you ever get corduroy pants that would rub together because you were so chubby at the time?
You think that's
I'm just
funny,
asking.
Jimmy? So the people on TikTok, Ron asked me, because I was so chubby, did I have to get corduroy pants that rub together? The answer is yes.
Yes, and they did a commercial with Smokey the Bear. You know, he can put out forest fires too.
So like when you'd come walking down the hall, we wouldn't even have to look, and we could say, "Oh, Dave's on his way."
Right. You could hear the rubbing of my thighs together. Are you happy now, Ron? You've
But you
totally
turned your life
humiliated
around.
me. I've turned my life around.
Right, and so now you're down to what, 220 pounds?
No, I'm actually below that, Ron.
What are you down to now?
About 210.
Oh my God! I mean, oh, great, great, 210.
My goal
Well,
is
that's good.
190.
Well, that's 20 pounds. That's doable. You work out all the time. I think
do.
that's going to really
I do.
happen. Here's what you got to do. You got to eat healthy, eliminate all like sugary drinks and alcohol. All right. So
All
if you
right,
can do
so
those
sugary
3 things,
drinks are gone.
all right. How about are you eating healthy?
I am.
All right. Now can you eliminate alcohol?
Can we take the next caller?
No, these are the 3 things you need to do. I'm
asking. Can we take the next caller?
Can you make a commitment to me?
I asked you if we could take the next caller.
It seems one of the 3 seems to be an issue.
Maybe. It may be an issue. It may not. But if you lived my life, you couldn't live it without alcohol, is all I'm saying.
I understand, but your dinghy's working again, and that's all that matters. You're
Right.
on the air. Hello. Caller, are you there?
Hello?
Yes. Do you have what's your question for attorneys? Running out of time.
Okay, I just want to know if Attorney Beatrice Kopp and Margola do anything about the Camp Lejeune.
No,
filing.
we're not involved in the Camp Lejeune. There's a lot of law firms that are, but we're not one of them. I suggest you call one of those firms that are involved in Camp Lejeune. Okay?
All right. Thank you. You're on the air with attorneys David Beatrice and James Melfi. Hello there, caller.
Hi, real quick, I just have a question about M1 assault. If there's never been a prior, you've never been in trouble before, what is most likely the ruling on that?
It depends on the assault and the facts of the case, but someone with no prior record and no physical violence, generally on an M1, they'll get probation, but that's not a for sure thing. If you're charged with a jailable offense, my strong suggestion is you hire a lawyer to assist you through that.
Okay. Yeah,
All
it's
right.
for a friend of mine, and they already have, so.
Yeah. So they'll
All right.
probably work it out and it'll go good. Ron, are we out of time? Do I have to tell you what I'm talking about tomorrow morning on WFMJ today? Or we have
If
more
you would,
calls?
I would like to hear what you're going to talk
So
about.
Tennessee passed the law where the 10 commandments are going to be prominently displayed in every classroom.
Correct.
And is that going to pass constitutional muster? To find that answer out, join me 6:40 tomorrow morning on WFMJ, where I'll answer whether or not that new law passed by Tennessee is going to pass constitutional muster. I'll give you my opinion. I'll tell you the facts and the standards that the court uses to determine that, and you
All
can
right.
go from there.
All right. Should I call you Dave or Stanley? Can you get in character, Stanley? Give me one of your 2 lines. Do you still remember 'em?
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so great to see you back. in love again. Are you happy now?
Yes, I am. I am so happy. You have no idea.
Thank you, Ron. I'll see everyone tomorrow
See you,
morning on
Ron.
WFMJ Today.
Thank you, guys. Attorney David Beatrice and Jimmy Melfi.